everyone. This is City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me today for Stretch the Sketch. In the Stretch the Sketch series, we take a sketch that was made for a 12 by 12 inch layout and we change the size. We could make it bigger or we could make it smaller. For this month's sketch, which was created by, I think it says Sarah Serena for Sketches in Time, I decided that I wanted to shrink the sketch. So I'm making a smaller 9 by 9 inch layout. The piece of paper that I have there that's white, that is a piece of 120-pound cardstock, and it is cut down to 9 by 9 inches, and I've covered it in some white gesso. For the pattern papers, I'm using a pink Paislee pad that I had in my collection called Noel, and I am inking the edges of the photos and also that larger rectangle with some Distress Oxide in peacock feathers. I'm very sorry for the lighting that's overhead. I'm going to turn that off in a minute. I don't realize it's on sometimes. So you could see that the sketch has the photos going across the top, and then there's some flowers and some journaling down the middle. So my plan is to put some mixed media under the photos, and then I plan to put some embellishments over the mixed media. So my thought was that I wanted to use some blues and greens in the background. This collection had a lot of blues along with the traditional Christmas greens. So I thought I would use watercolor sprays in those colors, and then for the red that I want to include on the page, I would use pattern papers and embellishments. So I'm using a couple of different colors here. The really pretty blue color that I used first, that is an art anthology spray called Siesta. And then I'm also using some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists. I have a lot of those in my stash that I bought at Tuesday Morning years ago. So I'm using 3 different colors of green. I'm using Leapfrog, Peacock Green, and I think it's Meadolo Green. That's what it looked like to me. So those are the 3 colors that I'm using. And now that I have the colors down, I'm using my heat tool just to dry everything up. I want to make sure that all of the paint is dry because I want to sprinkle some water on top and then use a paper towel to lift up some of the color, and that just makes a really cool effect. I'm adding a little bit more color in the lower right-hand corner. I felt like that area looked a little bare. And then after I added a little bit more of the color and smushed it down, I decided that I should add some splatters. So I took each of the colors and I'm just adding a few little splatters to the background. Once I put the splatters in the background, I want to dry it really, really well because I plan on putting some modeling paste on top, so I wanted to make sure that all of the color was dry. For the texture in the background, I'm using some Heidi Swapp metallic texture paste in, as you can see, it's a white color, and it's really pretty. It's translucent. It doesn't really cover up the color as much as some of the other modeling paste does. And sorry, I lifted it off and you couldn't even see it, but you'll see it in a moment. I decided also that I wanted to cut my photos down. They were way too big, and there was really nothing that was important in the bottom of the photos, so I think that looks much better with the photos cut down a little bit. 4 by 4 was just too large for a 9 by 9 inch layout. And now you can see the stencil work. That was an Americana stencil. It is called Pixelated, but I'll put all the information that I have on that stencil in the description box. Now I'm taking a little bit of gesso and I am covering up some of the color. Putting 1 coat or 2 coats of gesso lightly like this, it doesn't totally take away the color. It will just kind of dull it down a little bit, and it did turn out to be very bright, and I want to put some embellishments on top of it, so I don't want it to draw your eye more than the embellishments I'm going to put on top of it. I just want it to be a background. So I'm using this very old brush to spread the gesso around, and I feel like most of my brushes are really old. Unless I am painting something with like a small detail brush, most of the time I'm using my brushes for putting on gesso or putting on some gel medium. So I don't worry that my brushes are old and I don't want to ruin good ones. So I just keep sticking with these really old brushes. So now that I have put all of the mixed media down in the background that I want. I punched out a piece of paper using an old punch, and I punched that out in red because I wanted to have some red on the background. Right now it's all blues and greens. And then I was thinking that I would put these ornaments down. I like the colors. I feel like they went really well with the collection, and I'm looking at them now and I really like them a lot. But when I put them down at the time, I didn't like them at all. So I do try them out. These are some K & Company stickers. I had these in with my Christmas stash, but they just didn't work for me. So instead, I pulled out a whole bunch of these poinsettias or poinsettias. They're all different brands. There are Michael's brand. There are some poinsettias that are Petaloo. I tried some little Birdie ones. They're just a variety of different poinsettias that I had in my stash. And I decided to leave in the footage of me arranging them, and you can see that I am moving everything around. Basically what I'm looking at is I don't want to put too many of the same color near each other, or a lot of them are red, so sometimes I can't really avoid that, but I don't want ones that look exactly like each other to be too near to each other. So I'm trying to balance that, and I only have one of those really dark red ones and one of the large white ones, so I just keep playing with it until I'm happy with the configuration. I tried that little poinsettia. I just didn't like the off-white look to it. So I stick to red and white ones. And now these are leaves from a pack of Petaloo poinsettias. I didn't use the poinsettias because they had a lot of yellow in them and I didn't want to bring in yellow. So I decided to just use these. They're like a soft, almost like velvety kind of leaf. And I like the way they had a lot of red in them too. So now I am happy with that huge cluster, and I am adding some photo corners using the same pattern paper that I used to make that punch strip. And you can see that a lot of the punch strip is covered up, but that's okay. A lot of the touches of the color show through, so I'm happy with that. So initially I put down some photo corners, and then I put some pearls on the photo corners. And I've been using so many self-adhesive pearls without replenishing my stash, so I have to find some more really tiny ones. And now I'm using some heavy-duty gel medium. It's the matte finish, so that when it dries, you don't see any shine, you don't see anything at all. And I'm using that to attach down the flowers. I feel like that's a really good adhesive to attach down things that have a little bit more dimension. It really holds them in place. So I'm trying not to move things around too much so I can remember where everything was. And I'm also using the heavy-duty gel medium to attach the leaves down. I don't have too many leaves on the layout. I wanted to have a number of leaves, but I didn't want to use up all of my leaves, especially from the pack that had a lot of poinsettias, and I haven't used any of those poinsettias, but I thought that these were just such a good complement to the poinsettias that were there. I try not to hoard things. I don't always succeed. So I'm tucking those two little leaves in on top, and I'm using that heavy-duty gel medium to attach them down. And now I'm putting some white splatters on the background. The white splatters splattered nicely on the mixed media area, but when I splattered them on the poinsettias, for the most part, the paint just got absorbed into the poinsettias. You can see some of the white splatters, but a lot of them faded after a while. That just means I have to go back into my little bottle and add some more white paint. I keep a little bottle of watered down white paint handy just for white splatters, and I think that there's a little bit too much water in the bottle, so I'll have to fix that. In the meantime, I added a banner to the top. That banner at the top, it says Happy Holidays. That is a Jolee's embellishment. And these little poinsettias are Jolee's embellishments too. And they're really cute, but I think the reason I haven't used them is that the jewel in the middle is just too big. It kind of overpowers them and just makes them look kind of funky. So I decided to remove the jewel from the center and put a smaller pearl and then use them on the photo corners. I also found that heart. I don't know where it came from. It just was there at some point, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. It's red, and I'm going to just put that right on my layout. So for each of the little poinsettias, I used my fingers or the scissors, whatever worked, and I peeled up that jewel that I thought was a little too large, and then I stuck down a pearl, and then I put one poinsettia over each of the photo corners. And now I'm using some of the pearls to decorate the poinsettias. I'm trying to use some of the larger ones and some of the smaller ones to have a variety of sizes in there. And then I added a little pearl to the heart. I thought that was a nice little touch. Added some ATG adhesive because even though it was a sticker, it wasn't going to stick on its own. And now I decided that I wanted to put a piece of paper in the background. So that's going to make this layout a little bit bigger than 9 by 9 inches. So I don't have a page protector that's larger, slightly larger than 9 by 9 inches, because I don't think that they make them. But I was thinking that I could always attach my little mini layout to a larger sheet of plain paper and put it in a 12 by 12 inch page protector. So in the sketch, you see that there's journaling down the middle, and I don't have a lot to say about these particular photos. There were many pictures of the same event, so I'm just going to go kind of decorative on this layout and just add some phrase stickers to the center. And it looks like those little phrases are a Prima brand. I think I got that quite a while back from Peachy Cheap. And the colors were just perfect. They had red, they had green, and there was some of that blue that's in the pattern papers. So I decided that those were perfect choices to use as the phrases. And while I'll definitely need some glue to attach those down, they're also not so easy to move around. So I'm using my scissors to help me position them. And the one on the top says love and joy. The red one says you got the spirit. And the little bluish green one says, hello, my name is Santa. And the large red one, you may be able to read, it says grateful. So I told you earlier that there was that heart kind of floating around my desk, and I can't say for sure where that came from. There was also a little tiny gold star floating around my desk, and that is off to the right now. I just picked it up, and I thought, oh, that would be just perfect to put under grateful. My guess is it was stuck to one of the stickers that was in the big box of Christmas stash, so it probably stuck onto one of the packs of stickers, but I was glad that I found it. So now I took those poinsettias that I had as photo corners and I removed them from the corners. I felt that I wanted the whole focus of your eye to be on the cluster of poinsettias, and I thought that those little poinsettias really didn't add anything, but I did think that it would be nice to have some tiny poinsettias mixed in with the larger ones. I always feel that when things are different sizes that it creates more interest for the eye. So I think that was a good addition. And since that left nothing on the photo corners, I went in with some pearls and I added some one pearl, a small one, to each of those photo corners. Now I'm using my ruler and I'm making sure that all of the sentiments and the title and the star are centered on the page. And that completes the layout, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Stretch the Sketch this month. Please check in the description box. There are links to all of the other ladies who are following along with this awesome challenge. I hope if you like this video, you'll give it a thumbs up. If you're not a current subscriber, I hope you'll think about subscribing to my channel. I hope to see you back again next month for the 3rd anniversary of Stretch the Sketch. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.